Hello children, I'm Shubhajit. You have already read the Dalton's atomic theory in last part. Today, we'll learn element, symbol and molecule. Before starting the new lesson, let's revise the previous topic. Elements are composed of incredibly small particles called atoms. Atoms of the same element are exactly identical, and atoms of different elements are different. Atoms cannot be divided, created or destroyed. Atoms of different elements combine in whole number ratio to form chemical compounds. In chemical reactions, atoms are combined, separated and rearranged. Learning outcomes. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand about atoms and molecules, why do we name elements, symbols of elements, elements with more than one atom in their molecules. Keywords: element, atom, molecule, symbol, compound. This is the concept map of today's lesson. Hey, have you ever observed to build walls? From these walls, a room and then a collection of rooms to form a building. What is the building block of the huge building? Brick is the building block. So, we can say if the whole house is a matter, the brick can be its atom. It means that matter is composed of tiny particles known as atoms. Atoms are very, very tiny. Modern instruments like the electron microscope, field ion microscope, scanning tunneling microscope have the capacity to show enlarged images of the atom. The number of atoms present even in a small amount of matter is very large. The aluminum foil that we use to pack food might seem thin to you, but it has atoms in lakhs along with its thickness. They are spherical in nature The size of an atom is determined by its radius. Atomic radius is measured in nanometers. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power of 9 nanometer. So, it is clear to you that atoms are the most fundamental of all particles that can have an independent existence. But what happens when two or more than two atoms combines? Two or more atoms combine to form a big particle. When atoms combine, they form molecules. When the particles of a substance contain only one type of atoms, that substance is called an element. In elements, the smallest particle may be atom or molecule. There are many elements whose smallest particle is an atom. Iron, copper, zinc, aluminium, silver, gold, etc. are examples of substances in which the smallest particle is an atom. Oxygen and nitrogen are examples of substances in which the particles are a combination of two identical atoms. The smallest particle of elements that are stable are known as molecules. For example, one sodium molecule has one sodium atom, but one oxygen molecule has two oxygen atoms. A molecule can be defined as the smallest particle of a substance that has independent existence and retains all the properties of that substance. One question can arise in your mind that why do we name element? There are so many languages in the world that it is not possible to know the different names of each element in different languages. To help scientists communicate without confusion, one name for each element is assigned. There are some interesting ways to assign the name of element. Once upon a time, people believed that any substance that reacts with oxygen would be acidic in nature. The Latin word for acidic is oxy. Hence, the gas was called oxygen, meaning gas that forms acid. It was later discovered that the acidic property was not related to oxygen. The gas which was first discovered in the sun was named helium because Greek name for sun is helio. Place of discovery of element can also play a role in its naming. As example, polonium was discovered in Poland. Sometimes elements were named to honor the scientists. For example, Einsteintanium, Framium, Rutherfordium, Mendelevium. You must have realized that a chemistry involves a lot of reactions. It will be a waste of time to write the full name of the elements and compounds every time to describe a reaction. To avoid, this symbol was introduced. Dalton used certain signs to represent elements which you can see on the screen. Today, we use the symbols determined by IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. The current method of choosing chemical symbols is based on the method invented by Berzelius. He suggested that initial letter of an element from its name in English written in capitals should be the symbol of that element. Example, O for oxygen, H for hydrogen, and so on. So, the first rule is the first letter of the name of the element in English becomes the symbol of that element and is always written as a capital letter. As example, we can say O for oxygen, H for hydrogen, and so on. A symbol can have either one or two letters of English. The first letter of the symbol is always uppercase and the second letter is always lowercase, like Al for aluminium and Si for silicon. Symbols of some elements are formed from the first letter of the name and a letter appearing later in the name. Symbol of chlorine is Cl and zinc is Zn, etc. Certain elements have symbols based on their Latin, German, or Greek name. For example, the symbol of iron is Fe from its Latin name ferrum, sodium is Na from natrium, potassium is K from kalium. Points to remember. An atom is the smallest particle of an element that can participate in a chemical reaction and retain all its properties. Atoms are tiny and spherical and its diameter is measured by nanometer. A molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound that is capable of independent existence and retains all the properties of that substance. Symbols represent atoms. Thank you.